Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining me again today. I've got another great coin trick to teach you, again from Bobo's Modern Coin Magic. Now, this is a trick that goes back to the 1800s, as far as I can tell, from Hoffman's Modern Magic or More Magic. But back then, they used to do the trick with two piles of coins. Kind of like in other coins across, we've seen like the flying eagles, except they would cover the coins with usually brass just covers. In my mind, I can only picture Aikido boxes, but I imagine what those covers looked like. So some coins on this side, some coins on this side, and they would get covered, and then the coins would progressively arrive to one side. And the methodology was the use of a turtle. So the trick we're going to look at today is called the Peregrinating Halves. So in Modern Coin Magic, if you turn to page 273, you'll find the Peregrinating Halves. And the only credit it gives here is that it's reprinted through courtesy of The Bat, which was an old magic magazine. And all you need is 4 borrowed $50, which we can't really do that nowadays, and you need a turtle. So we all know what that is. So you need a turtle gaff. So I'm using silver dollars here because it's very clear and it's easy to see on video, but you could get a turtle in a quarter or $50, obviously. So this is a worker trick that's just, if there's any trick you should do with a gaff coin, in my opinion, this has to be one of them. And I'll get into a little bit of the variations here because, like I said, this general idea goes back to the 1800s, probably way, way back to the discovery of witchcraft, probably. Because in that book, Reginald Scott describes what a turtle coin is. So people were probably doing a version of this, way, way back the 1500s. So let's get into the general tutorial here. So what I like about this version that differs from other versions you might already be familiar with is the gaff is out of play to begin with. So like the description says, you could borrow these coins and then the gaff is added in right before the trick begins. So it's very disarming. You'll see other versions where the gaff is already in play and there's certain choreography to switch it into the pile of coins and get one ahead, basically. But let me show you the basic performance here. Check this out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 real silver dollars. Now the idea is simple. The coins are going to travel from hand to hand without the hands ever touching. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 silver dollars on the left. With just a squeeze, I can get one of those to jump across to the right, which leaves just 3 coins. So again, that's 1, 2, 3 on the left, 1 coin on the right. Now you'll hear coin number 2 as that arrives, which leaves 2 coins on the left. Now listen again for coin number 3 as that one arrives. That's 3 on the right and now 1 on the left. Listen for coin number 4. You know what's going to happen as coin number 4 arrives, and that's all 4 coins. So that's how it basically looks, the Peregrinating Halves. I have altered it a little bit because the description in Bobo's it's just a very inefficient handling in my opinion. But as I mentioned, what I do like is that the gaff is out of play to begin with. So you can start with the coins here. They can be inspected. you can, let the real silver ring out, and because you can't borrow these silver dollars, or maybe you could borrow quarters and do it that way. So I show the coins. I have the gaff in finger palm, and then I just dump the coins onto the gaff. So they are now, with the gaff. And so now it's just super clean. They might have inspected the coins, and now you just dump them onto the gaff. Now the gaff is integrated onto these. So it has this really clean opening. And so you want to, at this point, rearrange the coins as you're talking about what's about to happen. The coins are going to go from hand to hand, and the hands aren't going to touch. So now I've moved that turtle with the coin to the back of this spread. And then I'm going to end up like this, where the coins are laid out on the hand. And then to get one ahead, I'm going to stack the coins and just lift. So let me show you what that looks like. So you've shown the coins. I have my gaff finger palmed here. And yeah, they've inspected these. You're really letting them rattle around. They're real coins. Then you just dump them onto the gaff, and there's basically nothing to be seen. They still see 4. Now you just rearrange these, putting the gaff at the back here as you're counting, you're explaining, and then you end up like this. So now we're going to stack these back up, lift away, which leaves 1 coin. Now you want to turn this hand at the same time. And the last line here is you're going to repeat. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 coins on the left. And then this immediately gets classic palmed. And you can even gesture like this using Mellini subtlety. That's 4 on the left. Now you nest that on, and we're going to squeeze, and the first coin arrives on the right. Now you can open to show 3. So again, you kind of repeat the opening part by rearranging these. So the gaff is on the bottom now. You're going to stack, then lift away, and repeat. Okay, so now that's 1, 2, and 3 on the left. Again, classic palm, and then you can pick this coin up, and now you can have the second coin arrive with sound by releasing that coin. If you're unable to do that, it's just, it takes a little practice, but it's worth acquiring that little skill to release the coin and get that sound. Otherwise, the magic's lacking. You close your hands and open, and the coin's there, and it's still surprising, but it's cool that you can almost give movement to it, like the coin, you cranked it over there. So there's 2 on the right, and then 2 on the left. So at this point, I like to just make it easier, keep the gaff in my right hand, and then prop the coins up to a French drop type of position. And we all know this move where you allow the coin to fall out. Now you just pop them up to your fingertips and bring that gaff over here. So now I'm 1 ahead. I can classic palm that, grab these 2. I nest that as I close up. Coin number 3 happens the same way, like that. Now you open up to just show 1 coin. Now here I like to use my Rickroll retention, because this differs again from routines you might be familiar with. Normally you do this thing where you stack all the coins in a spectator's hand, then lift the gaff away, closing their hand up and do a vanish of the gaff. And then they'll open their hand to have 4 genuine coins. So this routine differs a little bit. You yourself will have the coins either on the table or you'll pick them up in your hand. So you vanish the gaff and the coin inside. Pick the 3 coins up and then just loosen your grip. The coin will fall out of the gaff. You can show the coins here, and then as you show your left hand, you can just lap the gaff there. If you're doing this standing, you could go to your pocket to ditch that. But this way, you're starting with 4 genuine coins and you're ending with 4 genuine coins. And all throughout, they've seen displays of the correct number of coins. And it's just, there's really clean parts to this. But let me explain things I've changed. So in the book, it starts out basically the same way. It has the gaff in classic palm, but it doesn't really matter. All you have to do is add it on after the coins have been displayed and inspected. In the book, it has the gaff in front, and you're counting over to your left hand. 1, 2, 3, and then on the 4th coin, it has this move where the coin's flat on your hand and you lift the gaff off with your thumb and place it over here. And that works. But to me, it just seems a little bit inefficient. And I'll show you that from over the shoulder. So again, the coins have been displayed and maybe inspected. And then you're adding the gaff on. But you leave it in front. And then you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then you're going to lift it off this way and place it there. To me, it just seems like almost an extra move. So in my mind, it's easier to place this in the back as you're explaining the effect, and then go from here, lift it off, then just kind of rearrange the coins again and place them down. So that's one change I've made. Now, another interesting variation to this effect is from The Classic Magic of Larry Jennings, which is a great book, one of my favorite magic books. It's mostly cards, because Larry Jennings was mainly a card magician, but there's a few coin tricks in here. There's his great chop cup routine. So if you can find this book, it's well worth your time to get. But there's a routine in here called Peripatetic coins, which is very much the same routine from Bobo's. And it even shows the move of lifting the gaff off. But Mike Maxwell, he gives credit to Larry Jennings for that. But it's the exact same move that's in Bobo's. So that's funny that they did that. But if you can get a hold of this book, there's some nice variations in the handling, like what I did to get one ahead by putting the turtle on the bottom and then lifting the stack off. It just avoids some of this hand-to-hand counting. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And so it's well worth your time to give this a study if you can get your hands on this book. Again, that's called Peripatetic coins. And it's really just a variation of Peregrinating halves from Bobo's. And then probably the best version of all, the most efficient version, I think, is, of course, David Roth's shelled coins across, which you can find in Expert Coin Magic. And Roth was able to eliminate, all the transfers completely just by showing the coins and then explaining, the coins are going to jump across one at a time and the hands aren't going to come together. So it's such a simple idea, but it makes it even cleaner. There's none of the counting. There's none of the back and forth, which is still, it's clear and it's clean. But what Roth did with the concept just, I think, finishes it off and makes it as clean as could be. So that book is now back in print, and it should be on your Christmas list. And that's the best version of the Peregrinating Halves, I think, from Bobo's. So that's it for today's video. I thank you so much for joining me again today. Next week, I'm going to get into the routine that follows that routine, the coins through table. And that's where we first see this concept. Well, it's the first time I've seen it, where the last coin appears in a spectator's hand, which we all do now with the coins across effect. So I purposely saved that to appear after this. So next week, I'll talk about coins through tables. So come back for that one. Thanks so much.